a dumb rancher from West Texas. I've been raised in Pecos County all my life. There is a need, as Dr. Ward talked, there's a need for recharge. There's only one way to get recharge, and that's through rainfall. So I'm going to kind of explain what weather mod is. There's a lot of slides here I'm going to go through pretty quick. If you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. The first disclaimer that I want to give y'all is we can do nothing without our Lord and Savior. If God does not send us a cloud to seed, we cannot make a cloud. There is no way in the world we can send our plane up and mysteriously a cloud pops up in the sky. Without him sending us a cloud to seed, we cannot do anything. So y'all can kind of read this if you want to. Basically what it is we emphasize weather modification should be viewed as a fundamental, legitimate element to atmospheric science. Our board is that's what we do. I mean, we're what's what I'm looking for. We're adamant about trying to produce rain in West Texas. What is cloud seeding? The act of introducing favorable nuclei into a cloud to promote cloud droplets growth and ice nucleation focused on localized events. I'll kind of explain. Y'all can kind of see. Maybe I'll make this work. Look at that. Y'all can see these are our flares. This is our airplane, not our airplane. This is one out of San Angelo. But this is kind of what happens. There's flares. There's a rack of flares on the back of the airplane. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. Why should we cloud seed? The water demand for the population is increasing. So as most of y'all know, AI data centers are coming. Population is growing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about it in our board the other day. One AI data center is the equivalent to 80,000 taps. So that's 80,000 taps that one AI data center can use as far as water. Like I said, the only way we can get water is through rainfall, and that's what we're trying to do is enhance rainfall. Another problem is ongoing drought. Clouds in Texas are vulnerable to particulates, dust, sulfur, caliche, which all y'all know we got a lot of caliche here. And then weather events like El Nino and La Nina, which we're going through a La Nina phase right now. Little history. I'm not going to go through this a lot. First cloud seeding program was introduced in 1967. And then you can see there's been a lot of research that's been done throughout the years, 1986, 1996, and then some other programs that had jumped up, 74, 95, and then basically when cloud seeding was introduced was in 2001 in Texas. This is very important, okay? And I don't really want to get into, I mean, if there's some questions, I'll be happy to introduce. But we do have protocols that we have to go through. We cannot just send up an airplane and go see the cloud. We have got to go through a permitting process through TDLR, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. Permits require an operation plan and a notice to intent to run for 3 consecutive weeks in general circulating newspapers. So within our target area, we have got to run ads in those newspapers. And then we've got to either have feedback from them. If there's somebody that wants to oppose it, if there's enough, they will send in notification to TDLR, and then they will have a hearing. If not, then TDLR will issue a permit. License requires qualified meteorologists, so we do have to have a meteorologist on staff. We just can't send a plane up and go seed clouds. Our meteorologist before this year was Jonathan Jennings, superb meteorologist. He took a job in Utah. We're actually trying to get him back into Texas. Hopefully we can. Reports must be posted on a web page through TDLR. Preseason and postseason reports are required to be filled with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the West Texas Weather Mod. We do have full transparency. So this postseason analysis, that goes to a fellow by the name of Archie Ruiz. We've got to send, he will look at all the data. He will compile a report and he will send it to us, which if y'all want a copy, we can get you a copy. We send those out. Our board is strictly funded via donations. There are some seeding boards in San Angelo that are somewhat tax-based. You got to pay per acre. but we are strictly 100% contribution funded. So anybody that contributes, that sends in money, we send you the reports every year. You get those. Y'all as individuals, if you can contribute to our board, we will send you those reports. And if anybody wants those reports, get with Robin. She can send those to you and you can read them. These are the districts that are in place right now. These are the target areas. Panhandle, up north, and then the Rolling Plains, and then of course ours, the Trans-Pecos Weather Mod, West Texas, which is San Angelo, and then South Texas, which is down here. Program goals, I mean, guys, that's pretty simple. To help increase water supply for drinking water, irrigation, area lakes, rivers, reservoirs, and aquifer recharge, while introducing need to irrigate and groundwater consumption. I mean, that's pretty simple, guys. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help recharge aquifers. I'm not going to get into this a lot. This is an area that I employ people to do. But basically, what we do is we got two different types of flares. We got a glaciogenic and a hydroscopic. The glaciogenic is basically it's a salt particle. And what that does is salt will attract water. It makes the droplets bigger where it falls out of the sky. I'm sorry, let me back up. The glaciogenic is I had that backwards. The glaciogenic is it's a silver iodide crystal, and it looks like it looks like ice is what it looks like. And it'll track the water molecules. And then once it does that, it makes those droplets heavier where it'll fall out of the sky. The hydroscopic is the salt particle. It uses salt and it attracts water, which makes the droplets heavier, and then they will fall out of the sky as well. Those are the two types of flares that we use. Environmental considerations, I'm not going to go into that because I'm running out of time. I was given 15 minutes. These are some operations that we do that you can look at the cloud structure. This is what the meteorologist is going to look at. He'll look at layers of the cloud to see if it's seedable or not. I'm trying to hurry through these because I'm limited time. Here's your analysis for the Trans-Pecos Weather Mod Association. So since 2004, the inception of our program, we've seeded a total of 5,303 seeded clouds. Average seasonal rainfall is 14.11. We've increased that by 1.29 inches or 10.21%. Water production is 3.3 million acre feet per year. This is just another analysis chart. Rain gauges, you can see the blue line is the increase. The red line is what it should have been. And the way they take these is Archie will take a cloud not in the target area. He will take a cloud outside of the target area. He will look at that cloud and say, okay, this cloud should have produced this much. He will look at a similar cloud within the target area that we've seeded, and he will say, okay, this cloud produced this much rainfall. So he does that over a broad spectrum. So he gets real close to what it should be. Why do we see this effect? This is another slide that Jonathan threw in. I had Jonathan build this PowerPoint for me. You can see the aquifers, which are in Texas that they just talked about. You can see the different programs, where the different programs were and what we're trying to do. This is just explaining the amount of rainfall that has fallen over the area and how it's benefited the recharge every year. You can see 2004 was a great year. 2006 wasn't so good. 2008 wasn't as good. And everybody knows what happened in 2011. We got no rain in 2011. So you can see how without clouds, we don't get a whole lot of seeding operations. You can see the benefit of cost throughout the programs. Over here, you can see how much is put in and how much this has affected the rainfall that's falling. In conclusion, weather modification is foreign for cloud seeding. It has been ongoing for decades. It is widely considered to be a tool for water resource. This should be considered a long-term water management strategy. This is very interesting. I've been visiting with Jonathan about this. They have a $15 million grant in Utah that they are that they're running through this year, and he's been telling me that if this grant proves what he thinks it's going to prove, he said it will change the future of weather mod. Texas cloud seeding programs are fully funded at a local level. In 2004, the total investment was $1.26 million. So at the inception of these programs, they were state, it wasn't totally funded by the districts. It was funded by the state. It was a 50-50 cost share program. We've got some lobbyists that are trying to get back to that, where the state funded. There's many states that fund their own cloud seeding program. Texas does not right now. And so we're trying to get back to that. We have just a little update on us. What we've done is until this year, we've run our own program. We've managed our own program. This year, as you well know, we've signed with a company called Rainmaker that is out of California. I mean, these guys are good. They know what they're talking about. I'm sure some of y'all have seen Eugene on the news after the devastation in Kerrville. These guys are committed. I just got off the phone last week with one of their reps. They're going to the state. They're trying to get money from the state to fund these programs. Guys, cloud seeding is strictly a tool. That's all it is. If you're a mechanic, if you're a plumber, you've got tools in your toolbox. This is a tool that we can use. We are not associated with chemtrails. Chemtrails is a totally different subject. I know a lot of people want to throw us in with chemtrails. We are not, guys. We have a lot of criteria that we've got to follow. We do have suspension criteria. If the cloud goes warned in any manner, we do not seed that cloud. We stay away from that cloud. There are some of these districts that do have a hail suppression criteria. We do not have that, which a hail suppression criteria is that they can fly 15 minutes after a storm goes warned to suppress hail. We don't have that. In the incident in Kerrville, that was a suspension criteria. Rainmaker basically suspended all criteria in that. So at this time, I'll open up to any questions. Yes.
What do you think that local people can do to help in your efforts of state funding?
Contact their lobbyists, contact state representatives, visit with them. There are some bills that are, and I know they're coming. There was already one at a national level, and actually there was one in Texas as well, that was filed to prohibit cloud seeding. We need help in basically debunking those. There was one at the national level. There was 3 reps that went and visited, that testified, and that bill got shot down. Just information, a lot of the times people associate us with the chemtrails. Chemtrails have been around. Planes produce chemtrails. It's just a lot of information that needs to be put out. Yes, sir. Go back here.
Do you have any metrics on what the price per acre foot is on the cloud seeding?
That I do not. I'm sorry, I do not. I can get that for you, but no, I do not at this time. Yes, sir.
I think you skipped a very interesting slide. What happened to the downwind people?
What's that?
What happened to the downwind people that should have gotten the rain?
The Peter and Paul slide.
Yeah.
So what happens is and I'm not a meteorologist, guys. I'm not. I know how to put people together that can do this. So basically, what happens is robbing Peter to pay Paul does not exist. What'll happen is these clouds typically build over the Davis Mountains, and that's why we're in conjunction with. We work so well with San Angelo. These clouds will build over the Davis Mountains. We will see them over the Davis Mountains, and as those clouds move on, they dump significant amount of rainfall. Even if you look at the clouds that move into San Angelo, once we see them in our area, those clouds will continue to produce as they move into our other areas. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any others? Yes, ma'am.
I have one quick question.
No, Tom. I'm talking to go ahead.
If you happen to seed a cloud, how far from the time that you seed does it travel before it starts to drop rain?
So when you seed a cloud, let me explain how we seed. So when you seed a cloud, you can seed two different ways. You can top seed or bottom seed. When you top seed, you have to have a twin-engine airplane. Very, very not cost effective. Typically, your clouds will be 13 to 14,000 feet. You have to get above those. You drop that agent into them. And so when you bottom seed, you will fly along the base of that cloud, which you're flying anywhere from 8 to 12,000 feet, and you find inflow. So all clouds have inflow and outflow. So you want to find that inflow into that cloud, you seed it, and your effects are almost immediate. You can, if you're watching radar, you can almost watch that. And I've watched that cloud from the time it's seeded. It's a matter of minutes until that cloud actually starts producing rain. What our goal is in cloud seeding is if you'll watch these clouds, they build high. Well, when they build high, they dump that moisture into one spot. Our goal is to build that cloud out so it dumps it over a bigger area. So to answer your question, it's almost immediate. Any others? I know there was another. Yes, ma'am.
So what is your success rate and how you measure the success rate?
The success rate? So that like I said, that's Archie does that. He will take, because we don't have the technology to do that. He will look at, so if there's clouds that say we see the cloud in Reeves County, and then we go outside of the target area, say in Winkler County, and there's a cloud that's similar to it, he will look at the participation, the rainfall that has fallen in Winkler County versus the cloud that we seeded at that, and he will measure that and determine how much extra rainfall that cloud dumped. That's the evaluation part of it that we have to have done. Yes, sir.
What kind of atmospheric conditions are more favorable for, you said there's two types of flares, so you have the glaciogenic.
Glaciogenic and the hydroscopic.
And the hydroscopic. What's favorable for this one or that one? What atmospheric conditions?
You're getting into areas I'm not sure about. But okay. So what we look at is, and there are conditions. I'm trying to remember. I asked Jonathan about this.
Might have been one of those slides.
No, it wasn't, because you're talking about the two different clouds. So at times you've got to look at temperature. I know temperature is a big effect on that, and you got to look at height of clouds. If that temperature is below minus 5 degrees Celsius, then and you use less hydroscopic than you do the other one. We'll only put in one hydroscopic versus the other type of flare.
And they're using conjunction.
We will use them in conjunction. Yes, sir.
I have two questions. One of them is, one of your tenants' goals is to reduce consumption. Do you have any program in place where you're trying to formalize that? Because it's very difficult when you're dealing with people, because it is a commodity from that standpoint. And everybody says, well, I pay for everything that I use. Trying to change habits is not easy. So it's something that do you all have any plans in place that would be disseminated to try to use?
We do not at this time. No, to reduce consumption, it's just educating people on water consumption. That's what it would be.
Very good. My second piece is it only, and again, I'm going back to my middle school, I guess, but is it only cumulus clouds that you can attack? You can't attack the stratus or cirrus clouds?
No, it's only cumulus, yes. Yeah, so like in the event of Kerrville, that was not a seedable. That was not a favorable cloud to seed. It's strictly got to be cumulus clouds. Yes, sir. Back there in the back.
Kind of changing gear, but are y'all doing any coordination in your research between wind farm areas and cloud seeding up above those and the effectiveness, plus or minus, where we have? I'm not opposed to it. I'm not
Right.
environmental questions. Is there a connectivity between all of the wind farm and movement of air and cloud seeding in the rain?
No. To answer your question, no, we do not have any research ongoing at this time. And that may be something we want to look at in the future. But the way, you know, the way I look at it is, you know, we're seeding, you know, 10,000 feet. I don't know that the wind turbines actually affect the air that high. They could, I'm not saying that they don't. You know, we're seeding 8,000 to 10,000 feet. We have seeded over wind farms. I mean, we have wind farms in Pecos County. We seed over them all the time in eastern Pecos County. Any others? Sorry, Ty, no. No, go ahead, Ty, if you got a question, ask it.
Take a second and talk about the people that do give y'all money and how much more money you might need.
So, yes, and I will. Ty is, as y'all know, he's general manager of Middle Pecos. So there are several organizations that do fund us. Ward 1, Reeves 2, and Red Bluff, sorry, Robin. They do contribute. Those are our biggest contributors. Typically, our budget, our annual budget runs 100 to 120,000 a year. That's what we need. And we only seed, we don't seed during the winter months. So we seed, this is the first year we have seeded past the end of September. Typically, we start May to September, May 1st to September. That is prime seeding. Like I said, we don't charge, you know, we're not a tax-based entity. We're basically, you know, contributor. And so those that contribute, you know, we're very blessed for those that do contribute. We really try to manage our money. We try to, you know, be as efficient as we can. This year we did sign with Rainmaker. We did that several reasons. Research, they're committed to research within Texas. They're a California-based organization. They are in Utah, and they're doing a lot of research with winter seeding, which ours is convective seeding. They're wanting to get into that game where they can do a lot more research on convection. So we signed with them. They're committed to it. The goals of Rainmaker are simple. You know, they want to do a lot of research, and they want to do this as efficiently as possible. Up until that point, we had one plane. If our plane was down, we didn't get to seed. Now that we signed with Rainmaker, we have a whole fleet of planes. They can send planes wherever they need. So, I mean, without contributions, you know, we couldn't make this happen. Any others? Thank y'all.